Back in July 2017, a man named Johnny Wheatcroft, his wife Anya Chapman, their 2 kids, and a family friend were parked at a Motel 6 in Glendale, Arizona. Glendale police officers Matt Schneider and Mark Lindsay turned into the Motel 6 after them for an alleged turn signal violation. Wheatcroft's lawyer would later argue that it isn't possible that either officer could have seen any violation. But it's also funny that this whole thing started from a traffic offense that cops commit literally every single time they turn. I'm not even sure if police cars have blinkers on them. Officer Schneider approached the passenger side of the car, which was already parked, where Wheatcroft was seated. Schneider would lie to Wheatcroft and tell him that he had to give him ID even though he was a passenger in the car, and the car wasn't stopped for anything that he had done.
Don't reach in your bag, man.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
You said you don't have no ID. I don't want you reaching in there. What's your name?
Why am I even being asked?
Well, you don't have ID, and then we made a. Yeah, if you're a passenger in a vehicle, you need to have your ID.
Why is that? I have an ID. I don't have to give it to you. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay, well, I could take you down to the station and fingerprint you. Because we made a traffic stop on the vehicle, brother. That's it.
When Wheatcroft refused, Schneider opened his door and escalated quickly, immediately twisting his arm behind his back, which entangled Wheatcroft in his seatbelt.
You're trying to help us.
Listen, we could do this one of 2 ways.
Okay, relax for a minute, please.
No, I'm going to relax. Listen to me. We're going to...
I don't have nothing, dude.
Okay, I don't want you stuffing anything down in between the seat like you're doing. Relax. Keep your foot in there.
Okay, stop, please. I didn't do anything wrong.
Here's the deal. You tense up, I'm going to... Listen to me. Listen to me.
I understand.
Listen to me. Relax your arm, okay?
Don't
start... Listen. A couple of things. One, okay, you don't have no ID on you, okay? I'm trying to do this as easy as we can. You already done stuff something down in your backpack and you stuffed something down in the seat.
I promise you that.
Okay? Are you going to fight or not?
No, I'm not. But
okay.
I promise you I didn't stuff
We're going to do this.
Okay?
Okay, well, I just watched you.
No, you didn't, sir.
Okay. Listen. He's going to fight, dude.
No, I'm not, bro. Ow, please stop. I'm not fighting.
Relax.
Okay, babe, I'm not.
Don't pull away. Hey, get your taser
bro.
out.
I'm not, bro. I'm not.
You are.
I'm not. I promise you that.
You got a taser on you right now.
He's not. I'm not doing nothing, man. I'm not doing nothing, bro.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to continue.
Ow, man, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Relax.
Please, I am, dude. Ow, stop, motherfucker.
He's not going to
I'm not shit. Ow.
Stop!
What the fuck?
He's not doing nothing!
Lay down! Lay down!
Turn over, motherfucker!
Quick, he's not.
According to the officers' attorneys, Wheatcroft's wife, Anya Chapman, would swing a bag with bottles of soda in it against Officer Lindsay's head, knocking him out. Although attorneys for Wheatcroft assert that Lindsay merely slipped on a water bottle. This isn't visible on any body cam I've seen, but Lindsay wasn't injured in any case since he lucidly describes the event minutes later. A third officer, Michael Fernandez, would handcuff Wheatcroft, but despite that, Matt Schneider would continue to tase him and kicked him in the groin. He would also pull his pants down and allegedly tased him in the testicles, and certainly tased him near the testicles. According to Wheatcroft's lawyers, Matt Schneider then placed the taser on Wheatcroft's penis and threatened to tase him again, but did not.
I'm not doing anything.
Get your hands up right now. Get your hands up right now. Mark, stay down.
I'm saying you hit him in the head with a
Hey, we need to get... Watch Mark, he's hurt.
I'm just sucking the seatbelt.
You hit him in the head.
No, she didn't. She didn't mean to.
I
I'm stuck in the seatbelt.
Face the car.
I am stuck in the seatbelt, bro. Ow. I'm stuck. I'm stuck, bro. Ow.
Hey, get in front of the car right now. Get in front of the car. Come on. You're all right. Come on. You're all right, buddy. Come on.
Ow, bro. Please.
Mark's hurt. Mark is hurt. He got hit in the head by her. We need to get her in handcuffs right now.
She didn't mean to. Please don't take my phone.
Hey, stop. Ow.
Don't kick. Hey.
All right.
Stop it.
Please. I get my glasses. I did
I got hurt.
sir.
Yeah, bro,
Get the kid out of the car. Get him to the front of the car.
Walk this way.
Everybody's in custody right now.
What did I do?
Who's got the taser? Both of us. Take your taser out.
There's probes everywhere.
I got him.
I understand how hard
Go,
time.
go,
No,
go,
please. Give me. Please, give me. Elbow! My elbow!
Okay, keep fighting. You're gonna get it again. You want it again? Shut your mouth. I'm done fucking around with you.
The Glendale Police Department released a press release about a year and a half later, which I've linked in the description. It describes the event broadly, but does not mention the abuse that Johnny Wheatcroft was subjected to. It doesn't say, for example, that he was tased repeatedly while handcuffed or kicked repeatedly while handcuffed. It also exaggerates the degree to which he reaches into a backpack. In the body cam, he does this exactly once. In other words, surprisingly, the police department lied and misrepresented the event. Wheatcroft's lawyers also say that Schneider kicked Wheatcroft in the testicles, and Schneider admits to doing this on camera in his police car. It is important to note that Wheatcroft was handcuffed while both the kicking and tasing took place.
Well, at the least, you're going down for ag assault.
Aggravated assault on who?
Oh, you got a bunch of warrants too, so.
You want?
And you're going for resisting.
Resisting what?
Dude, you're on camera fighting with
Can't
us.
repeat me up for no reason, dude.
You didn't get beat up.
Yeah, I fucking did.
Okay, well,
You kicked me in my balls twice.
yeah, I did kick you in your balls.
Why?
Maybe you shouldn't fight next
Bro, I
time.
didn't fight you at all. My arm was stuck in that plastic bag, I swear to God. You didn't even see.
Well, hey, listen, you'll have your day in court, buddy.
That's all I did.
According to Wheatcroft's lawyers, Wheatcroft spent months in prison before the charges were dropped and he was released. The full body cam video is available in the video description if you want to watch it yourself. For all of this, Matt Schneider was suspended for 30 hours without pay. 30 hours, I assume that's 3 10-hour shifts or something. The suspension notice said that the subject, Johnny Wheatcroft, was compliant and didn't resist. Matthew Schneider tased Wheatcroft 2 or 3 times while he was handcuffed and not resisting. He was tased in his right buttock area near his taint, and Schneider kicked him in the groin twice. He did not report the kicks. The notice doesn't say that he tased him on the testicles, but this notice was written and delivered by the Glendale Police Department Assistant Chief of Police, Rich Levander. So even though this is an incredibly lenient punishment, the basis for it, that Matthew Schneider tased and kicked a handcuffed man, is agreed to by one of his superiors. It's also bananas that Levander believed Schneider kicked a handcuffed man in the balls, put that belief in writing, and then thought a 30-hour suspension and no criminal charges was appropriate. Shockingly, Officer Schneider has a long history of being a prick, including to his co-workers. He was giving an official reprimand for pulling a chair away from a female colleague as she went to sit down, causing her to fall. The officer who made the complaint said he created a sexist atmosphere against female officers and discriminated against them. The officer who made this complaint actually arrived on the scene a few minutes after Johnny Wheatcroft and Anya Chapman were put in squad cars. She addresses Matt Schneider twice early on, and he just ignores her.
Johnny Wheatcroft, that came across something. Is he wanted by somebody? The name is...
Phoenix.
Did we talk to him? Johnny Wheatcroft, why does that sound familiar?
Still, I don't know if there's something inside of it. I would assume there is. But I can't get that fucking
Is this the
thing
guy
open.
when the councilman was with us? The councilwoman? We
Is
stepped
that a
him on the
radio?
bike.
Dude, I don't know what it is.
Looks like a radio or a clock.
The complaint she wrote is dated June 28, 2017. Johnny Wheatcroft was assaulted on July 26, 2017, only 28 days later. So this complaint would have likely been fresh in at least her mind, though I don't know when Schneider would have been made aware of it. He was also suspended for 1 day on 2 separate occasions in 2008. The first was for playing with a knife that another officer later severely injured himself on, and the second for destroying a civilian's property held in evidence after charges against them were dropped. In July 2018, a year after the assault, Wheatcroft's attorneys filed suit in the Federal District Court of Arizona for unspecified monetary damages. Wheatcroft's wife, Anya Chapman, has since left the lawsuit. The suit sues the city of Glendale and the 3 officers who were at the scene: Schneider, Mark Lindsay, and Michael Fernandez. The suit reiterates most of what is seen on body cam. Johnny Wheatcroft and his family pulled into the Motel 6. Schneider falsely told them that he had to show his identification as a passenger, then removed him forcefully when he declined. Officer Fernandez handcuffed him, and Schneider continued to tase him. He pulled his pants down, tased his testicles, and threatened to tase his penis. No officer intervened to save him. Johnny Wheatcroft spent months in prison for aggravated assault and resisting arrest before the charges were dropped. The officers gave no care and did not photograph his injuries. Currently, the case is still going through motions hearings, and there is no trial date set yet. The officers, represented by Joseph Popolizio and Justin Ackerman of the Jones, Skelton, and Hockley law firm, deny most of the substance of the lawsuit. For example, they deny that Matthew Schneider tased Wheatcroft in the testicles. They do, however, admit that Schneider threatened to take Wheatcroft to jail for not identifying himself, and that Schneider put him in an armbar and also tased and kicked him, but says all of these actions were justified because of Wheatcroft's assaultive behavior. The defense, meaning the police officers, would file for a summary judgment in their favor back in March of 2021, effectively asking the court to dismiss the case entirely. They assert again that Wheatcroft's friend who was driving did not use his signal, and that they did a suspicious parking maneuver. The suspicious parking maneuver was, according to their legal filings, as the car pulled into the Motel 6, it headed to a parking space, but then quickly backed into another, hiding its license plate from the officer's view. Arizona apparently does not require front-facing license plates, but this maneuver, pulling into one spot and backing into another, was apparently a red flag, and the officers could not simply walk around to the back of the car to run the plates if they wanted to. This argument to justify detaining the car and its passengers, and then jumping one of them and kicking the shit out of him and tasing him repeatedly while he was restrained, is like the pitch play at the end of a football game. A desperate gimmick. The filing gets more desperate and ridiculous. It asserts that Johnny Wheatcroft repeatedly reached into a backpack, even though in the body cam he holds a backpack once and puts it down after being instructed to do so. Johnny Wheatcroft was removed from the backpack while being tased and kicked, which is the main point. It also states that when Matt Schneider was pulling Wheatcroft out, one of Wheatcroft's legs stepped out of the car, which made Schneider feel threatened. What? If you'll write this, you'll write anything. Your Honor, while I was pulling him out of the car, he stepped out. Matthew Schneider naturally put Wheatcroft in an armbar to assist him out of the vehicle. If this wasn't ridiculous enough, the defense argues that the Motel 6 had a blanket trespass agreement with the Glendale Police Department. Wheatcroft's attorneys note that this agreement didn't come into effect until about a year after the incident, and that Wheatcroft wasn't even accused of trespassing, nor was he charged with it. I can't actually tell if he was tased in the testicles from the body cam, though his attorneys continued to assert it forcefully, and I'm inclined to believe them over the Glendale Police Department, who already misrepresented what happened in their press release. But this is hardly the point. Matt Schneider tased him while he was handcuffed, kicked him in the balls while he was handcuffed, lied about it, and all because he wouldn't identify himself as a passenger, which he isn't required to do. Somehow, Officer Matt Schneider was allowed to retire back in 2020. After Matt Schneider admitted to kicking Johnny Wheatcroft in the balls while he was handcuffed, he told him that he would have his day in court.
Okay, well,
You kicked me in my balls twice.
yeah, I did kick you in your balls.
Why?
Maybe you shouldn't fight next time.
Bro, I didn't fight you at all. My arm was stuck in that plastic bag. I swear to God. You didn't even see.
Well, hey, listen, you'll have your day in court, buddy.
All I did.
Actually, Johnny Wheatcroft never had a trial, because the prosecution was too afraid to bring the charges and show the body cam. As of today, the only one still showing up to criminal court hearings in relation to this event is former officer Matt Schneider himself. He's the one getting his day in court. Matt Schneider was charged with 3 counts of aggravated assault on September 9th, 2021. Johnny Wheatcroft was kept in jail for months, but Matt Schneider was released between hearings and received permission from the court to travel to Hawaii for a much more serious offense. I don't particularly object to Matt Schneider being released between hearings, by the way. I'm just calling attention to this disparity, which was done to retaliate against Johnny Wheatcroft and to show him who's in charge. So far, Matt Schneider has had one preliminary hearing, back on January 12, 2022, to determine probable cause, and has another one set for March 31st. I was able to get a copy of the first hearing, and will get the second one a few days after it takes place. During the hearing in January, the state of Arizona called Sergeant Joseph Flossman of the Glendale Police Department's Professional Standards Bureau. Here are some of the highlights from the direct examination.
Passenger in a vehicle, you need to have
Why is that? I have it on you. I don't have to give it to you.
I just heard Officer Snyder say if you're a passenger in a vehicle, you need to show your ID. Is that an incorrect statement of the law?
At that time, I believe so, yes. Pulling down Mr. Wheatcroft's basketball shorts to remove it from his buttocks area.
It looks like he's pulled down everything so that his backside is exposed. Is that accurate?
Sure.
And where is he placing this taser?
It appears in the video that the taser is placed in the intergluteal cleft of Mr. Wheatcroft's buttocks.
Is this the ideal placement for the taser?
No.
The main point that was emphasized by the state was something that I actually didn't notice. They emphasized that while Matthew Schneider was tasing Wheatcroft, and just before he started tasing him, he didn't actually order Wheatcroft to do anything. This is important because it means there was nothing Wheatcroft could do or stop doing to end the tasing.
He's got him in a pain compliance hold. Officer Lindsay has a taser on his back. These are to gain compliance from the individual. Would that be an accurate assessment?
Yes.
I haven't heard them order him to do anything. So what are they trying to get compliance to at this point?
Not sure. After looking at it, there was no direction given by Officer Schneider for Mr. Wheatcroft to do anything. Typically, when you're in a dynamic situation, if you want them to put them in a position of disadvantage, roll over, put your arms out, that kind of thing, you're giving them direction. And if they're not complying, depending on the totality of the circumstances, depending on what else is going on, you may or may not be within policy to utilize the taser to get that compliance. There was none of that there. It seemed like he just tased them just to tase them.
The defense only had time to call one witness, a Dr. Blake McClelland, a former cop with the Phoenix Police Department and a professor at Arizona State University. He is also retained as an expert for the defense in the civil case against Schneider. I'll be doing some research on him in the following days. If there are any ASU criminology students watching by chance, feel free to reach out to me in the comments or elsewhere. McClelland testified that Schneider acted reasonably given the situation. He also said that Schneider didn't know that Wheatcroft was handcuffed when he tased and kicked him. He also testified that Schneider pulling Wheatcroft's pants down and tasing him was also reasonable.
The area where the drive stun is attempted to be placed is where?
It's in his buttocks.
Right. Is that an appropriate area to deploy a taser drive stun?
Sure.
And could you explain a little bit about that?
Well, it's a large muscle mass, and you want to avoid sensitive areas like the face or anything like that. But
although the hearing ended without a final determination of probable cause, because there'll be a second hearing in March, there are some strong indications that the judge intends to find probable cause in this case. Judges will often ask questions during a prelims examinations, and the questions she asked seem to be favoring one side.
in this situation, Officer Schneider was unaware that he was handcuffed. The fight was still going on. We can freeze frame it, but it's still an active struggle fight going on. And using the taser in that situation was appropriate and reasonable.
Reasonable for him not to be wearing the handcuffs on him?
I'm sorry?
Was it reasonable for him not to notice the handcuffs?
Yeah, given the close proximity of the officers, a lot of times one officer may not know what the other officer is doing at the time.
Why is the case of Johnny Wheatcroft so important? Well, as far as I can tell, it got very little national media attention. It does have some local media on it, and some of my research included local reporting, especially that of Arizona ABC 15's David Biscobing. But relative to how brutal this attack was, it has received little public attention and discussed. If you've never heard of Johnny Wheatcroft, and you probably haven't, you have now. I also think it's important to highlight non-lethal police violence. Most high-profile media cases involving police brutality require someone to be killed. But I think since most unjustified police violence is non-lethal, some more focus should be paid to cases like this one as well. All of the documents mentioned in this video, including the court and Glendale Police Department documents I relied on, are available on my Patreon for free if you want to read them yourself. You can also go to my Patreon and send me money for free. Also for free, you can subscribe to my channel and share this video. When new hearings become available, I will probably stream them on my Twitch channel. So if you want to see a thug cop go through the criminal justice system, you can. Just go to twitch.tv/paulasconi. See you there. Bye.
When looking at the totality of this situation and Officer Schneider's actions, I do not see an officer that's out of control.
Please don't take my
Hey, stop! Ow! Kid! Kid! Hey!